It's the time of year for reflection and planning, and this channel is no exception. Welcome to Mad on Books, where I talk about fantasy mostly, science fiction sometimes, and comics occasionally. I've got some general thoughts on 2023 as a year. Then I've got some questions which were asked by viewers, which I answer. And then some general goals for next year, 2024, and also plans, how I want to maybe achieve those goals. This video is likely to be a bit rambling and perhaps long, because it's basically me thinking out loud. But there are chapters, so you can spring around in the video to see the things you're interested in seeing. And as always, if you like, sub, and share this video, it helps out the channel a lot. Thank you. Yes, indeed. 2023 was a year. The beginning of the year, I got way too excited. I was really getting into the rolling sort of rhythm of doing a booktube channel, and I overcommitted by far. I signed up for numerous read-alongs, buddy reads, readathons, read whatevers, and I backed out of most of them, which was a bit disappointing. I was slightly disappointed in myself, but it was necessary. I had just taken on too much. I was way over optimistic. My eyes were bigger than my stomach, so to speak. However, 2023 was also an awesome reading year. I read a lot of really good things. And my book awards video, which will be coming out in early January, will get into that in a lot more detail. Although I had a very long break, I was also pretty disappointed in myself there. I was off of BookTube for 5 months. I talk about that up there. In spite of having a completely unplanned 5-month break, I was pretty happy with myself that I did actually get back on the horse. That was a bit of a challenge. I really had to push myself a little bit, and I'm so glad I did. All of you and all of my BookTube friends were super supportive, for which I'm extremely grateful. It's a wonderful community to belong to. There are a lot of pretty unpleasant and toxic communities online, and this is thankfully not one of them. I've only met awesome people through doing this channel. If you look at my stats, they show the break. You can see it really clearly. This is subs, and it was going pretty well for a while, and then it went kind of dead. And the kind of dead actually is a continual increase. It's just not any big jumps at once. Even though I was out, the channel continued to grow, and I hit 1,500 subscribers not too long ago, a couple months ago. And that was pretty exciting. When I started this channel, I had no idea what was going to happen. I really didn't have any concrete goals as far as numbers go. I still don't really, but it's nice anyway to know that people are watching your videos. And that is shown by likes and subs and all of that sort of stuff. Creating videos like this is a fair bit of work, and it takes, for me at least, it takes a certain amount of courage. It's not an easy thing to do emotionally, and the main reason to do it is to connect with you, to talk to other people about books. But I'll be honest, a lot of it is also ego, and I would challenge any booktuber to say that they're not doing it partially because of ego. It's really nice to get positive feedback. It's really nice to put this much effort into doing something you love, about a subject that you love, and then have other people show you that they love what you're doing. It means a lot to me, and I really, really appreciate it. Most importantly, I have a feeling that the community has grown. There are new people commenting and getting involved on the Discord all the time. It feels like there's a lot of exchange, which is a lot of what I want to do this for, other than ego. And I really, really love seeing that happen and seeing the community grow and become more active. On the Discord and a community post, I asked viewers like you if you had any questions for me, and a few came through. Let me just read them off. Mike, who is a relatively new viewer, but he's been pretty active in commenting, and Mike said, "Do you feel you have accomplished your bookish goals for the year?" That's hard to say, honestly, because I don't have too many really concrete goals. I put, as a reading challenge on Goodreads, I put 60 books and I've almost achieved that. I'll probably achieve it by the end of the year. I think the biggest goal I had was developed during my break when I wasn't doing so well, and that was to get back to it. And I achieved that, and I'm kind of proud of myself that I did. Trevor, who is maybe one of the most loyal viewers and was the highest tier, the only highest tier Patreon backer, said, "How did your plans change as the year went along?" I think that's maybe a little obvious from what I've already said. I dropped out for half a year, and in that, I didn't have any plans. That break was not planned. And during that break, I had no real plans except start doing it again. And I did that. Since I started again, my plan was to put out one video a week minimum. And everything else above that is just extra and nice to have. And I have achieved that, which has been very satisfying. Esme was cheeky and put in 2 questions. The first one is, if you could spend a day with one of your favorite fictional characters, who would it be and what would you get up to? I thought a lot about this, and because fantasy is almost always mostly about conflict and there's quite a lot of fighting, I think it could be dangerous to spend time with a lot of my favorite characters. I think the one I could get the most out of is Corwin from Amber, from the Chronicles of Amber. Corwin is able to walk through infinite dimensions, and I think spending a day with him would be pretty interesting if I could convince him to take me for a walk through Shadow, which are all of these infinite dimensions, because you can see literally anything in these infinite number of dimensions. That would be pretty cool. Her second question is probably also an obvious answer by now. What has been your favorite, proudest moment of the last year, either on BookTube or just in your life in general? Running a channel and putting out one or more than one video every week is a pretty large chunk of your life when you really get into it and it becomes a regular thing. My proudest moment is making my first video after my five-month break. The break was pretty hard. It was quite a struggle to get back to doing this, and just getting myself together enough to sit down and do it again and make an okay video was actually a very proud moment. Bryce asks, how good is your German? Mein Deutsch ist nicht perfekt, aber ich kann es schon fließend und ich nutze es ziemlich regelmäßig in normales Leben. I can communicate pretty much anything I need to, which is good. That took me a long time. That took about 4 or 5 years to get to that point. He also snuck in a bunch of cheeky questions. What made you want to live in Germany? Originally, what made me want to live in Germany was a woman I was in love with, who is now my ex-wife. I did not realize at the time that she was my future ex-wife. But we're actually really good friends still. I sometimes spend Christmas at her place. After that, after I'd been in Germany for a while, it became mostly just I had a good business network here. I had good friends here. I knew my way around. I was kind of tired of moving. I did move back to Australia and then back to Germany again. But yeah, it started with love, as many things do. He also asks, how many castles have you visited this year? As usual, I think Americans have a really funny idea of Europe. I don't know if I've ever visited a castle in Germany, like a real serious castle. There certainly aren't any worth visiting in Berlin, where I live, and I don't drive around the countryside looking for castles. So none would be my answer. Trevor's second question. Which part of a book is generally your favorite? Beginning, middle, climax, or end? Depends a lot on the book. I'm very fond of beginnings. Like if it's a brand new book I've never read before, it's exciting to start figuring things out, discovering a new world, meeting new characters, that kind of thing. I'm a big fan of that. But also books I've already read or books that are really good, very often the middle or the climax or the end is really, really good. But if I had to pick one, I'd probably say the beginning because I like discovering new things. Heidi asks, what was the first BookTube video you ever watched and what inspired you to take the leap and start a channel? Those are 2 different things. The exact video, I have no idea, but I know that it was a Daniel Green video. Daniel Green somehow popped up in my YouTube feed, and I watched it, and I didn't until then realize that there were people doing this on YouTube, which is stupid because there's somebody doing everything you can imagine on YouTube, but I'd never seen BookTube before. So Daniel Green got me onto it, and then I started devouring BookTube videos and just looking for more and more and more all over the place. And I found Mike's book reviews, and that was the first BookTube channel I saw where I thought, oh, this guy's a little bit like me, closer to my age, closer to my life experience, very similar tastes in many bookish things. And I really like the way he presents, that it's casual, it feels like a chat with the viewer, and that's a lot of what I wanted to do. So I give Mike credit for being the first person that made me think, hey, I could also do that. Colin also asks, if you could only see in different shades of one color for the rest of your life, what color would you choose? It's certainly the most off-the-wall question. The answer, he said it was really hard to choose. For me, it was automatic and immediate. It would be blue. I would hate to see the world only in shades of blue, but if I had to see the world in only shades of one color, it would be blue. And Jeroen, extremely loyal viewer and commenter and discusser on the channel, says, do you have preferences in subgenres of fantasy? He also sent a link to a page that has 18 different genre definitions. I don't want to pigeonhole myself too much, but I would say high fantasy, sword and sorcery, portal fantasy is sometimes cool, sci fantasy or science fiction fantasy, and Arthurian are probably on the list he sent me my favorites. I've got one overarching goal for all of 2024, and that is to continue enjoying doing this. Everything else falls under that. So I don't want to do anything that's going to endanger my enjoyment of doing this channel. I would like to get through 2024 without a 5-month break, like 2023. That would be great. And I'm trying to take care of my own mental health better than I did in 2023. If I manage to do that well, I'll manage to keep doing the channel. As long as I can keep going throughout the year, I would like to stay consistent with one video a week. That would be really, really awesome. I may do more than one a week, but sort of the promise I'm trying to keep to myself is to do one a week. And as long as I do one a week, it's okay. I'm also being kind to myself, and if I happen to not do one week, I will try not to freak out and be too disappointed about it. The other big goal I have is to make sure you keep enjoying this, that everyone who views the channel, who likes the channel, who keeps coming back, that they keep enjoying it. So please do leave me a comment. What's your favorite kind of content that I do? What would you like to see me do that I don't do or that I should do more of? I'm really interested that this is fun for both of us, that I keep doing it for you. As far as a numbers goal, I really don't want to make this too much about numbers. I'm not running this as a business. I'm not trying to achieve anything particular with it. But like I said earlier, it is good ego feedback to know that more and more people are watching and that they keep coming back. I would like to maybe hit 5,000 subscribers by the end of next year. I think it's possible. At the moment, I'm getting 30 to 40 subscribers a week. If that increases a bit, 5,000 should be possible. If I do a couple of videos that really take off, that'd be interesting. We'll see. The top content on the channel in 2023 is also interesting. I didn't really expect this when I did the video, but my Lord of the Rings Editions video has done about 18 times better than any other video on the entire channel, with about 19,000 views in 2023. This is crazy to me. My average book review gets maybe 600 views after a few months. A more popular video might get 1,000. So 20,000 or 19,000 is pretty crazy. The second closest video, which isn't close at all, is at about 4,000 views, and that's my top 10 fantasy series. Top 10 lists just perform, as they say. Everything else is well behind that. I did consciously for the numbers, do a video not too long ago about the Kindle Paperwhite signature. I knew from Mike's channel that his Kindle videos just go crazy. People want to look at Kindle videos apparently. And it's already got 2,000 views and it's continually growing. So I'm expecting that one to overtake my top 10 fantasy series list not too far in the future. Other than that, it's a real mix. The special editions from the Folio Society, I did 2 videos about those and they do really good. Some of my TBR videos and live chats, some of the live chats, and my unboxing video. All of these actually seem to do pretty good. I'm curious how these numbers are going to change next year. I don't pay too close attention to the numbers, but it's always interesting. Some things just explode, like the Lord of the Rings editions video, and totally shock me. My plans to achieve these goals are actually pretty simple. One is to keep connecting with people. And one of the biggest successes in 2023 for connecting with people has been the Sunday Pub. If you don't know what the Sunday Pub is, every Sunday I have a live stream and anyone who wants to is invited to join on screen, not just watch it and comment in the chat, but anybody who wants to can just come on screen. And we've had Mike, we've had Vera, we've had Jeroen, and they're viewers. They don't have booktube channels of their own. They're not authors. They're not any of the things that you would think to be a bit more public, but they were brave enough to join on screen during the Sunday Pub, and it was great. We've also had authors like Joe Byrne joined us. Every time I've done it, it's been me and 3 to 5 other people, whoever they are. And it's always been a great time. Just having a chat for a couple of hours about bookish stuff with whoever shows up. It's been really fun. And I'm going to keep doing those. I tend not to have plans on Sundays other than this. And this is now on my calendar. So Sunday Pub is going to become a tradition. I'd like to get back to doing Friends on Books. The idea of Friends on Books originally was to get to know booktubers, primarily to start with ones that I don't know. And there's still a lot of them that I haven't really talked to directly myself. But I've done it in the past a number of times. It's me and 3 other booktubers. I'm really excited to get back to it. I haven't done it in a long time. I desperately want to keep doing it. I would like to do one a month. And I've already got one planned. You'll hear it here first. Alan from the Library of Alexandria, Jimmy Nuts from the Fantasy Network, and Brian Bell from BellTube are going to join me around the middle of January. We're still working out the details, but we 4 are definitely doing Friends on Books in January, so keep an eye out. Other than that, I'd like to do more deeper dive kind of videos, whether it's about a particular character or about themes in a book. I did one on Malazan back a while ago, Death and Rebirth and the Malazan Book of the Fallen, and I really enjoyed that. It stretched my brain. It was a lot more work, at least mentally it was a lot more work, getting clear what exactly I thought and what I wanted to say. And I want to do more of that. I've already promised in my Lord of the Rings vlogs to do a Tom Bombadil video, a character deep dive just on perhaps Tolkien's most hated character. So I'd like to do a lot more videos exactly like that for all of the fantasy and science fiction series, maybe also comics, that I love. There will unavoidably also be a lot more Fitz on the channel. Right now, Fitz is sleeping right over there, so she's being quiet and not jumping into the frame, but that will happen in the future, and I will continue to include her in the monthly wrap-ups. I started an experiment early in 2023, which was I opened a Patreon. It never really took off. And then I had a 5-month break, and crazily enough, 4 people stuck with me. Thank you, you 4. But I thought about it, and I have a full-time job where I earn pretty good money. I've spent a fair bit of money on equipment for the channel, but I enjoy messing with video equipment. I don't really have a reason to have a Patreon. It seemed like Patreon was what you do, and you should have a Patreon, but I started to dislike the feeling that it separates the normal viewers from the Patreon viewers and that kind of thing, I opened up my channel on the Discord. It was for Patreon only, and there weren't that many people in there, and I don't like the feeling of keeping someone out who may love the channel but doesn't have any money or whatever. So I have officially closed my Patreon and won't be opening it again anytime soon. Discord is a big question mark over my head at the moment, and I don't want anyone to take this the wrong way. I and Joanna became co-owners of the Grimoire Discord a while ago. Theo and Baron and RJ and Alex all had a server together. It was pretty active. It was where I spent most of my time, and it's not so active anymore because those 4 guys are not doing anything on BookTube anymore. I know that RJ's given it up completely. I don't know about Baron, Theo, and Alex. They may be back at some point, but I'm not sure. And it feels like the Discord server has kind of gone a bit quiet, at least compared to how it used to be. I miss the regular discussion. I miss having a reason to actually look at it every day. I'm not saying I have a better plan. I'd be interested in what you think. Would a Discord for only my channel make any sense? Or I don't know. I really don't have any plan. I wish those 4 guys all the best. No hard feelings of any kind whatsoever, but I have been thinking about it and wondering if maybe I should do something. Other than that, I plan to improve how I make videos. I would like to spend a little more time on my side just thinking about the videos, writing them, planning them a little more, not just doing a really throwaway bullet list, and trying to get a little more of a story happening in each video that I do. I also definitely need to reduce the friction for shooting a video. For me, I have to put everything in my living room when I'm done shooting. And I put it all sort of in a corner, back there actually, and I have to move it all either over here where I'm sitting or over there where my desk is, and set it all up. And it takes some time. It's not a huge hassle, but it's just a little friction that makes it a little more like, oh, do I really want to shoot a video tonight? I discovered a crazy idea from a guy on YouTube, a rolling cart that has basically everything you need on it. And I'm thinking about building one over Christmas. It's just more money to spend, I guess, but it would actually make it so easy to just roll my stuff back and forth from wherever it is to wherever it needs to go. Plug a couple of things in and I'm ready to shoot in 5 minutes instead of 20 minutes or half an hour, setting it up, getting everything right, and then I can shoot. I also want to look at editing a lot more. What I mean by that is watch a lot more videos on editing and figure out how to edit better. I know I've got some pretty basic good editing stuff going on, but I can improve it even more. I was talking to a friend of mine who is actually a director in Los Angeles. Hi, Enno. He and I were talking about how to improve the channel, and he had a lot of good tips. And I would like to get it just a little more polished and a little more flowing and focused, and like I said, a bit more of a story in the videos I make. Basically what I'm saying is I would like to continuously experiment in 2024 with improvements. So I guess look forward to that. Other than that, I am actually avoiding making too many concrete plans because I don't want to feel like this is a job. I don't want to disappoint myself. I don't want to disappoint you. I would like to just keep enjoying making videos you enjoy at about a rate of 1 a week, and we'll see if it goes beyond that. If you're still here, congratulations on your endurance. As always, I hope you will. I hope your 2023 was amazing and that you have an awesome 2024 and a wonderful holiday season time. I hope you're reading awesome books over your holiday break, and I'll see you next time.